everybody. I'm loving all of the spin emojis in chat. Love it, Sean. Let's keep that going. I'm into that. Welcome to Tuesday of our Daily Creative Challenge. I think it's day 6, actually. How's it going, everybody? Thanks for coming back. If you don't know me, I'm Kathleen. I'm going to be your host till the end of the week, and then we'll be done with our 2-week Daily Creative Challenge. If you don't know what this is all about, oh, thank you, Sam, Primo Spin. If you don't know what this is all about, basically it is 9 challenges over the course of 2 weeks where we learn Photoshop basics. We can also polish our Photoshop skills if we already have some. And then by the end of the 2 weeks, you'll have a new portfolio piece, a new community to chat with and get feedback from, and just a bigger sense of self-worth in the Photoshop realm. Very cool. Tim, love it. Is that the recycling emoji, but it also works as the spin emoji? Very good. If you are watching, give me a shout out in the chat so I can see your name, see your face. Let me know where you're watching from, what you're doing today, and if you're excited to work on some t-shirts. So we're going to be designing a t-shirt today focusing on using gradients. There's a bunch of different ways to make gradients in Photoshop, and I'm going to show you a couple of them and then focus on just one. So we'll jump into that in a moment. Here you can come to behance.net/challenge/Photoshop to register for the challenge. It's a little late to do that now because we're almost done, but we have these challenges running pretty much constantly. A new one will start next Monday with another secret host. So make sure you just come back here and check it out and register. So if you want to check out Discord, you can also do that. That's how we get feedback for our projects. It's a really cool chat server. This is it, where you can go to current challenge and post your work. I did that yesterday, right after the stream, and asked for some feedback. And Sarah gave me some awesome feedback, so thank you, Sarah. If you want to join Discord, it is bit.ly/PSDiscord, capital P, capital S. It's very fun, and it's open 24/7. Like a 7-Eleven, but way better. Although the 7-Elevens in Japan are pretty cool. They're kind of neck and neck. Carol says, I love that the previous challenges are still available to watch and try. Totally, Carol. So if you come to this challenge page, you can always go back to previous days and watch the recording of the video, and also still access all of the starter files that I have. And it makes it even better because if you keep scrolling down, you can see past challenges. So different hosts, different challenges. This one's from last year, which isn't that big of a thing to say because it's January, but still, we got tons of them going all the way back. Whoa, pretty far to the summer. That's cool. You can also join the XD challenge if you'd like. So let's talk about that. We have an XD challenge coming up later today, and we have a bunch of other Adobe Live streams coming up for the rest of the day as well. So I'll be out of here in about 20 minutes, and then Adam and Ellie are gonna come back for some vector art. Very cool. Adam and I went to the same college. Small world, very cool, I love it. And then Howard will be up at 11:30 for the Daily Creative Challenge. Howard's just sitting out there. I wonder if he can hear me. Hey, Howard. Also, I matched this planet that's behind me. And then Chris is going to be back for more XD goodness, focusing on sharing and collaboration in XD, which is cool and very possible. I really am very XD today. Howard would be proud. What's up, Colleen? Good to have you. Sam says we never sleep. We're always watching. With all of this content, you can do that. Dick says, hello, Kathleen, watching from Spain. Hello. Good evening. How you doing? Good to have you. Aurelia, good to see you. All right, so let's jump into Photoshop. I am going to open the template that I have in the starter file. So if you scroll all the way back to the top, sorry if you're getting whiplash, and you click this Get Started button on today's challenge, you can download all of the starter files I have for you. I'm gonna open this starter file. And these are smart objects. This is a free template I actually got from Adobe Stock. So secrets out, there are free templates on there that you can use. And we're gonna focus on designing a t-shirt. So I'm just gonna totally select the sweatshirt group and turn it off. We don't need it. Then I'm gonna select the t-shirt group, use my move tool over here at the top of my toolbar, hold shift and just drag it over to the center. We wanna focus on that. Easy peasy. Carol says, Behance is my new obsession. Carol. You and me both, girl. So glad to hear that. What's up, Chad? Is it another snow day for you today? All right, if we twirl open our t-shirt group, we'll notice that we have a bunch of different ways to customize this, but let's jump into our actual t-shirt graphic and get going with some gradients. So you'll notice this is a smart object. We know that because it has this smart object icon denoting it. So if we double click on the thumbnail, it takes us into our smart object. I'm feeling smarter already. Now we can get rid of this design me text because it's just there to be helpful to you to know, hey, I'm supposed to design that. Eric says, I live on Behance. I live on Behance on Adobe Live. Nora says that shirt is epic, makes me want to design the person in it. Awesome. I'm glad. So here is our canvas, and just as a quick reminder for smart objects, say I use my brush and I color in here. Ooh, nice and laggy. Got that big brush. And go to File, Save. If I go back to my smart object or my template, you'll notice that it is there. That's the power of smart objects, baby. So let's undo that, Command Z or Control Z to go back, and let's play with some gradients. So like I said, there are many ways to use gradients in Photoshop, and I would also say that gradients might be even more popular to use in Illustrator. They're a little more customizable in Illustrator with the freeform gradient, but you can still totally use them in Photoshop. So they are hidden under this fill bucket tool. If you find this on your toolbar and you long press on it, you'll see the gradient tool. And here's a little tip, I don't know if you knew this, but if say you are on the paint bucket tool and you know the gradient is underneath it, you can cycle through all of the tools in this flyout by doing Shift and then whatever the hotkey is. So the hotkey for these tools is G. So if I do Shift G, it cycles through all those tools. It's really nice once you kind of get your hotkey fingers on and you know what goes where, you can just quickly choose the tool that you need without ever even touching your mouse. It's great. So this is gradient tool. Very easy. You'll see up here at the top, the control bar changes when you choose gradient to have this drop down. There's a bunch of built-in gradients already in Photoshop, and you've probably played with them before, but I'll just show you quickly a couple of them. The ones that I like are the ones that go from a color to transparent. So let's say we have like a black to transparent. If you drag out your tool or your handles, you'll notice that in the direction that I dragged, it goes from black to transparent. We can know it's transparent because it has this checkerboard in the background. Now if I were to choose maybe the red to white and drag out, it totally goes from red to white, and there's no transparency in here at all. Okay, so how do I make my own custom gradient? Well, first, I'm going to show you how to make a live shape where we can change our gradients on the fly. So down here, we haven't talked much about live shapes or the shapes in general. You'll notice this icon. We got the rectangle tool, rounded rectangle tool. These are all of our shape tools. Let's just stick with rectangle. I'm just going to drag out a perfect square, hold Shift to constrain it. And you'll notice that it already fills with color. This tool works closer to how Illustrator works, where you can choose a fill color and a stroke color and different fills and corners and that kind of thing, and it will change in real time. You don't have to manually do it. That's how things work a little more in Illustrator. So over here in my Properties panel, and if you don't see Properties, you can always go to Window, Properties. That closed it though, so let's open it again. There we go. Here is our fill icon. You can see it as the fill icon because it mimics what is shown in the fill of this shape. Hi Mubashir, good to see you. And D, what's up D? Now if I click this fill icon, I have a bunch of options up here. I can choose just a color from a swatch and it changes in real time, which is awesome. In Photoshop, you used to have to choose a color and then fill your shape somehow manually. Over here we have gradients, which is very cool because now I can just click and it fills. Awesome, and then we also have some patterns, so you could make your own pattern. These are ones that are built into Photoshop already, but let's go back to gradients. Now you'll notice with the gradient, we have this gradient slider open as well. This is how we can edit our colors. And if you've already played with gradients before, this is probably not news to you, but it's always good to get a little bit of a refresher. Say I double click on this color swatch, Double click on that. It opens up a color picker, or sorry, it's a color stop, not a color swatch. And let's choose kind of a cool, like, yes, magenta. Matches my sweatshirt. And then we can double click on this one, and I want this to be a little more saturated and maybe a little closer to green. Perfect, and I can drag things, oops, as I see fit. That's also a thing. If you grab one of these stops and then drag down, it deletes it. So that's a thing, but you can also just add one back in by just clicking, and then we can change this color. Again, happens, such is life. Okay, you can also change the opacity or transparency of your gradient. So remember at the beginning where I said I liked ones that go from like a color to transparent? We can do that easily over here. Let me zoom in on here a little bit. So these two stops at the top are your transparency stops. Here we have black and it is set at 100%. So it's going to be 100% whatever color is below it. Here we have one that's also set at 100%, so that means this is going to be 100% of the blue. But if we select this stop and drag our opacity down to maybe 60, whoops, as our gradient moves to the right, it still turns blue, but it also turns more transparent, down to 62 opacity. So you can see it's a little bit transparent up here and less transparent at the bottom. Hope that makes sense. Let me know if you have any questions. All right, we have a couple more options here. We've got our different gradient types. So we can do radial, angle, reflected, diamond. We're just gonna do linear for now, but you could change it to radial, maybe if you're making buttons. If you have a specific angle that you need for a gradient, I rarely ever use this one. Reflected, don't really use this either, but it kind of looks like a floor light, casting some light up onto a wall. It's cool. And then diamond. Don't think I've ever used diamond. Have you? Let us know. Leah says, reminds me of a cotton candy unicorn. I'll take it. All right, so let's keep this going. Now I want to use one of the workflows that we've used in previous days, and I want to distort this square. So I want it to be kind of pushed over to the left so it looks like it's being pushed back into the left in space. But with one of these live shapes, it's difficult to do that. So let's actually turn this shape into a smart object. I'm gonna right click, convert to smart object, and now I can treat it like any other layer. We're gonna go up to edit, transform, distort. Remember when we did this in previous days? I'm just gonna grab this top middle handle, hold shift and pull it to the left. It's gonna kind of just shear the shape over, or I guess this one. Abraham says, I use the diamond gradient for my background in my baby Yoda emoji. Oh, cool, nice. So you found a way to use it well. That's great. All right, so let's see how this looks on a t-shirt. It's not done yet, obviously, but let's just see. We're gonna go to File, Save, and then remember we're working with a template. So there you go. It's a little bit big. This is what you would call an exploded graphic on a t-shirt. So let's size this down a bit. Center, I'm using my smart guides to let me know when I am center with those magenta lines. Hit return to commit my changes. Command save, go back. Looks pretty good. Now you'll notice the transparency of this gradient really coming through if I were to change the color of my shirt. Say I make it orange. You can see it turns a little bit green up here because it's not totally opaque. It has a little bit of transparency. That looks kind of crazy though. Let's go back to white. All right, so let's continue making our gradient. I included a stock image in your files. Let's see, where do I have it? Oh, there's the finished t-shirt. This stock image, I'm gonna go grab it. There we go. So let's copy that, pull it over here. Sounds good. And I did the exact same thing that I did to this gradient square. I made the exact same shape of a square with it, and then I used distort to shear it over. But it does not totally match what I wanted, so let's distort it a little bit. Edit, distort, make it match how that one goes. Perfectly. Looks good. Commit my changes. Maybe Command T, make it a little bit bigger. And there we go. Now we have our nice little layered shapes. You could even play with the stacking order. Ooh, I like that. So you can see a little bit of the bottom layer with the top. Put that nice and centered. Command save. See how it looks. What's up, Jan Eric? Good to see you. Nice. Let's make this all a little bit smaller. Save. Cool, so let's add our finishing touch. We have our cool, I think it's this. Our cool, I don't know who this is. Is this Adam? David, perhaps. This is some Roman or Greek man that we are going to add to our final design. So I'm going to grab him or them, put it on here, Command T, size her down. There you go. I think this design is what you would classify as vaporwave. It's got those cool 90s neon, late 80s neon feel to it. Alrighty, and let's add our gradient to our figure. So let's use this exact same layer. We're gonna duplicate it. Remember, you can duplicate a layer by dragging it down to the new layer icon. You can do Command or Control J to duplicate, or you can hold the layer, hold Option, and drag it where you want it for a duplicate. All right, let's do Command T to open our transform controls. Rotate this, drag it up, increase the size a bit, and change our blend modes. Now let's do a nice, I want it to be light on him or them. That looks pretty cool. And we're gonna clip our layer to our figure. Awesome. So notice how the bottom is a really harsh line. We want that to be fading straight to transparent. So let's go into our smart object and edit our gradient. We want this to be down to 0 and the blue to be pulled in a little bit. So it goes pink to blue to totally transparent. Now when I save this, it's gonna affect both of my smart objects. Check it out. Our first gradient and this gradient both are now much more transparent because we're using the same smart object for both, and I updated it and saved it. Cool. It's really awesome to see how they work together and are really linked. So you could make one smart object and duplicate it a bunch of times, and then if you edit one of them, all of them will change. Suba says, I have a question. All right, hopefully I can answer it. We'll see. What's up, Kara? Good to see ya. Catherine, hello. Anna says this is a bit Billie Eilish. Awesome design for t-shirts from new Billie Eilish H&M collection. Really? There's a cool new capsule? That's great. I love me a good graphic tee. This looks cool. Now it's placed a little bit too high, so let's go back into our smart object. Move things down a bit. A little too low. Something I learned when I was designing t-shirts is the top of the graphic should be about 2 inches from the collar if it's like a full chest graphic. So let's move this bad boy up a little bit. That's perfect. Cool. So let's get this exported and then uploaded onto Behance. Looks like the statue has the flu. Yeah, this is kind of an anime when people are sick and they have like that blue filter over their forehead when they're sick. Aurelia says, I would wear this t-shirt. Awesome. You know, like I said, this is very vaporwavy. Definitely going for a trend here. I'll say that. So let's crop this down a bit, get this exported. Whoops. And I'm using the crop tool by just tapping C. There we go. This kind of reminds me of a t-shirt you might find at like Hot Topic, which is not a bad thing. Go sell those t-shirts, Cashleen. You should sell your own t-shirts, everybody, when you make them. Let's get this exported, export as, and resize it. We've been doing about 1200 or 1600 for our graphics so far. Oh, thanks, Carrie. Let's save this to my desktop so we can find it easily. Day 6, T. Actually, I want to show you something really quickly before we upload it onto Discord to get feedback. This template is very cool because we can change these two colors in the background. So if I scroll down to the bottom, there is this background folder. And this is a way that you can make your designs really feel cohesive to the final product. So if we select our pink background, what if we just chose the same gradient that we've been working with? We can do the nice pink to the nice blue, maybe if it works. There we go. And let's move the pink up a little bit so more of it shows. That's awesome. That's a nice thing about having these live shapes. You can change it on the fly and see it in real time changing. I'm gonna re-export this. I like this better than the pink. Aw, feel better soon, Catherine. Sorry you're sick. A lot of people have that flu right now. Let's get this exported. Again, resave over our previous export. And let's put it on Discord and see what you guys think. Now, if you come over to Discord and you want to get feedback on your project before uploading it to Behance, super easy. You're going to go to the Current Challenge tab. I'm really hovering over it so you know where it is. Then you'll come down to the text box at the bottom, click the plus sign, and then choose your file. Super duper easy. Steve says it would be awesome if we could add our own links into the upload feature in the upper right of Photoshop. Oh, that's so true, like to specific social medias. Definitely. Alrighty. Let's see. I think this graphic's a little bit too big, but I'm gonna get your feedback. You think the graphic size works? Smaller? Larger? Question mark? Let's get some good feedback. And we'll see what you guys say. All right, let's get this uploaded onto Behance just so I can show you how to do it. Helen says, can you save the gradient you made for the gradient tool? You totally can. You can save it to your swatches or your libraries. Then you can use it whenever you want. Alrighty, let's hover over our cog, click edit, scroll down, admire all of our awesome work over the last week and a half. This one was cool. I really liked seeing your takes on this. You really did your own quotes, did your own graphics. It was great. You guys did a great job with this calendar one yesterday as well. All right, let's upload our t-shirt. And once we get that uploaded, we're gonna make sure in our settings, say it with me, that our keyword is PS Daily Challenge. I don't think I have to say it anymore, but there you go. That's how we can find your work. Save it. And there we go. Very cool. Oh, you can export for social medias in Photoshop? Very nice. I think you can do that, or I recall that you can do that in like Premiere Rush and Premiere Pro, but I wasn't sure you could do it in Photoshop. Nice. Oh, Catherine, you're on the mend. Good. I'm glad you're feeling better. Yeah, if you want to check out my Behance portfolio, you can check it out. My handle is Kathleen Adobe. You should be able to find me that way. Or you can search PS Daily Challenge in the search bar and see each other's work. But I just wanted to do a quick little scroll through of all of your work from yesterday's challenge. You really came out for this one. It seems like you guys had a lot of fun, and I find that happens often with the compositing workflows because you can get really creative with it. You can really make new worlds and do your own thing. Really scrolling up to the top, there's so many. Okay, here we go. So this is my post yesterday at 9:22, and it seems like there are thousands that you all posted after that. This one's from Ant. Got this cute little monkey. I wonder what kind of monkey that is. Having a little snack on top of the house. I love how you added your own little elements into these. Yes, M Camp, you are your only limit. Very cool postcard. Van Damme did this. Awesome. I think you showed this maybe during the stream. I think I saw it. Only 10 years old and almost a professional designer. It's really impressive. Aurelia, nice job. All right, so check out each other's work if you want to on Discord, bit.ly/psdiscord. And then I'm going to be back tomorrow morning with another challenge, but stick around for more Adobe Live after this for some awesome vector illustrations. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!